Dakota Mines 2026 Order of the Engineer initiation. My name is Dr. Joe DeLugos. I serve here as the Dean of Students. I'm happy to serve also as tonight's MC for our event. This initiation is an important event at the culmination of Engineers Week. National Engineers Week is always the week in February which encompasses George Washington's actual birthday, February 22nd. President Washington is considered the nation's first engineer, most notably for his survey work. The purpose of this week is to call attention to the contributions to society that engineers make. It's also time for engineers to emphasize the importance of learning math, science, technical skills. This ceremony is one way of highlighting the significant role that you as tomorrow's leaders play in our society and the power that you have to change it. This is not simply an occasion to add one more line item to your resume, but rather a solemn recognition that without ethical and responsible practice, our achievements are actually of no value. One of your greatest assets is your reputation. Nothing is more difficult to reclaim once lost, and few things are more dangerous to the public than an unprincipled engineer. At this time, I'd like to introduce our president, Brian Tandy. Dr. Tandy became the 20th president of Mines in January. He previously served as the dean of the College of Engineering and Mines at the University of North Dakota. During his 17 years at UND, Dr. Tandy also served as a professor and department chair in chemical engineering, and as the director of the Jodas Center for Engineering Leadership and Entrepreneurship. Prior to his career in higher education, Tandy spent several years in research, product development, and management in the plastics and composites industry. He holds a PhD in chemical engineering from the University of Delaware and a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Minnesota. So please join me in welcoming President Tandy.
Good evening, everyone. I want to join Dean DeLugos in welcoming you all to this Order of the Engineer initiation. What I appreciate about this ceremony is that it's often the last chance we have before our students graduate to remind them of a very important part of being an engineer, their obligation to serve humanity. Our students have spent years learning valuable technical skills that give them the ability to do things most people cannot. And while it may be one thing to possess the knowledge and skills needed to develop new technologies, new products, and new ways of doing things, it's quite another thing to always remember to use those abilities ethically and in ways that help make the world a better place. 40 years from now, when you are looking back on your career, I'm sure you'll have many technical successes to reminisce about. But I promise your most rewarding memories will be about the impact you had on other people's lives. People you worked with, those you mentored, those who mentored you, great teams you were part of, and products you helped design or manufacture that improved people's lives, either directly or indirectly. So to me, that's what this ceremony is all about, reminding us that engineering is about people and that engineers have an obligation to serve our fellow human beings. Yes, even if they went to BH. Sure, they may not be as smart as you, they may not be as good looking as you, but all people deserve to benefit from the great work that engineers do to help keep the world moving forward. Congratulations to all of our initiates. Welcome to the Order of the Engineer. And remember to always use your powers for good. Thank you.
Thank you, President Tandy. At this time, I'd like to introduce tonight's keynote speaker, Dr. Katrina Donovan. Dr. Donovan is a senior lecturer in materials and metallurgical engineering at Mines. Prior to joining academia, she worked at HP Incorporated, advancing the multi-jet fusion 3D printing technology platform, with her contributions resulting in multiple U.S. and international patents. Her expertise spans experimental design and advanced characterization of soft materials, complex fluids, surface phenomena, bridging fundamental research with real-world engineering applications. Dr. Donovan also co-funded Dragon Materials, LLC, where she partners with industry to solve complex materials challenges. At Mines, she's deeply committed to STEM workforce development, mentoring students through hands-on research experiences. Her work has been supported by federal agencies and private foundations, reflecting her dedication to advancing engineering and preparing the next generation of responsible professionals. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Donovan.
Thank you, Dean Joe. Welcome, everyone. I am a little miffed or confused. I was told I had 50 minutes. I found out it was 15 minutes. I got the students laughing. They know us faculty like 50 minutes. Don't worry, though. I can cover 50 minutes of material in 15, so you'll be fine. Joking aside, it'll be about 10. I want to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Tandy, Dr. Herman, and all those who have helped make this opportunity for all the students here a special evening. I also want to congratulate the graduating students in this room. It's exciting to look out and see so many familiar faces. Students I've had the opportunity to mentor, to teach. I'm so excited for your future. Completing an engineering degree is no easy feat. You have, or very soon will, accomplish something significant. This is a hard-earned achievement after years of discipline, long nights, and perseverance. The end is in sight. You should be proud. Let's give a round of applause for those graduating students. But tonight, I'm not here to congratulate you on receiving a ring. Because tonight, you're not earning a reward, but you're accepting a responsibility. You are not earning a reward, you are accepting a responsibility. I learned this lesson early in my academic career while sitting next to an elderly engineer. I'm sure by elderly he was like my age and 40, but at the time he felt pretty wise. But I knew he was an engineer because of that ring on his pinky finger. It was a short flight from Rapid City to Denver, but he shared stories from his decades, it felt like decades, who knows, decades in the profession, projects, setbacks, ethical crossroads, lessons learned. One thing he told me that stayed with me ever since, he said that throughout my career, I would encounter uncomfortable crossroads, moments when the technically possible and the ethically right would not feel aligned. He told me that when those moments came, he would sometimes spin that ring on his finger, a quiet reminder of that oath he had taken. He used to call it his worry ring. Not because it worried him, but because it was a reminder to pause, to think, to align his actions with his values. That ring, he said, was not a trophy, it was a responsibility. Protecting your integrity, and therefore your reputation, is part of what that ring represents. I didn't realize it at the time because I was in college, but he was forecasting a future. And I saw in my early years in industry, I was very fortunate. I got to work at a venture capital firm at Hewlett-Packard, and I had extraordinary mentors who helped shape my judgment and often shielded me from those more complex pressures I just talked about. Their leadership and example mattered immensely to me. And one day, you will move from being mentored to being the mentor. And eventually, you're going to encounter those moments. A moment when integrity matters more than the speed. A time when pressure conflicts with ethics. A decision where no one is watching. As a business owner, I've sat in rooms with partners staring at a red ledger, fully aware of the easiest, quickest, cheapest way to move back into the black. Words engineers love: efficient, optimized, streamlined. That option can look very appealing in that moment. As engineers, we are trained to weigh all options carefully. When you do weigh your options, just add a little extra weight to that ethical component. Don't forget about it, because temptation is inevitable when you are exploring all options. The question is not whether temptation will appear. The question is how you will respond when it does. The wrong choice may bring short-term relief. It may solve solve that immediate problem. But over time, it erodes something far more valuable. The ring is for when no one is watching, and honoring the responsibility it represents will help you sleep at night. Dean Joe talked about reputation. Reputation is one of your greatest assets. It takes years to build a reputation and a moment to damage it. That ring you place on your finger is a visible declaration, not just of your technical competence, but of your commitment to integrity. When an engineer compromises their integrity, it's not just their name that suffers, it's the public trust in our entire profession. Engineering exists because society trusts us to design safely, to calculate honestly, to test rigorously, and to protect human life. That trust is fragile, and tonight you are choosing to be stewards of it. There is a saying, heavy is the head that wears the crown. It means that leadership and responsibility carry weight. Tonight, you are not receiving a crown of gold. You are receiving something smaller, humble, modest, unadorned, and yet it's no less significant. It goes on your small finger, on your working hand. Subtle, but visible, not flashy, not gold, not ornamental. It is deliberately unimpressive because integrity does not need applause. Its simplicity is intentional. It's not meant to impress others. It's meant to remind you. So remember, tonight you're not earning a reward. You are accepting a responsibility. Be grateful for the journey that has brought you here and mindful of the journey that begins tonight. When temptation crosses your path, and it will, let that ring serve as your pause, your reminder, your alignment check. Your engineering reputation is tied to that modest, humble, important ring. And by wearing it, you're sending a message to your colleagues, your employers, and your community about how you intend to practice this profession. When you raise your hand in a moment, understand this is not a symbolic gesture, it is a public contract. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Donovan. This ceremony presents an opportunity for us to take a pledge and to recall that the professional purpose of engineering involves the pursuit of a learned art in the spirit of public service. By following the acceptance of the obligation, the individual engineer reinforces similar efforts of his or her peers. I want to share a little bit about the history of the ceremony, especially for the family and friends in the room and joining online. Decades ago, our engineering counterparts in Canada had the same feeling. They believed that a need existed for the introduction of a spirit of brotherhood, sisterhood, and cohesiveness amongst engineers. The Canadians believed that a good way to achieve this purpose would be to instill in engineers a consciousness of belonging to one another, to themselves as individuals, and to those whom they serve. This was done in 1925 in Canada in what is now known as the ritual of the calling of an engineer. The Canadian ceremony includes the placing of a wrought iron ring on the small finger of the individual's working hand, and then having them repeat together the words of author, poet, and novelist Rudyard Kipling. It is difficult to visualize any better symbolism than that of a ring, worn for all to see, and saying in effect that here is an engineer dedicated to a publicly avowed obligation to the profession and to those it has served. During 1966, a group of engineers in Ohio, with members of several engineering organizations, began to pursue the objective of what came to be called the Order of the Engineer. While the deliberations of this group were in process, seniors at Fenn College of Engineering in Cleveland State University, counseled by their dean, Burrell Bush, designed and held a ring ceremony. And and had that reception on June 4th, 1970. Each participant signed a creed and received a plain stainless steel ring placed on the small finger of his or her working hand. And 170 engineering seniors and engineering faculty members took part in that first ceremony in 1970. Since then, the movement has spread rapidly throughout the states. Such is the story of an increasing acceptance of the Order of the Engineer. It is patterned on the Canadian concept, but with a stainless steel ring symbolizing strength and unity of the profession and providing an identifying mark of an engineer. The Order of the Engineer, which many of you will soon belong, is an independent organization. The purpose is to foster a feeling of pride and dedication to that profession, which binds you all together. You're asked to accept with pride the meaning of the ceremony of which you're about to subscribe. The obligation should be freely given and the responsibility gladly accepted. The obligation is a formal statement of an engineer's responsibilities to the public and to the profession. It is a creed similar to the oath attributed to Hippocrates. It's commonly taken by medical school graduates and sets forth their ethical code. The obligation likewise contains parts of a canon of ethics of major engineering. Initiates, as they voluntarily accept it, pledge to uphold the standards and dignity of the engineering profession and to serve humanity by making the best use of Earth's precious and limited resources. The obligation is a composite of several creeds. It emphasizes the fact that you, as engineers, have certain obligations. It promotes honesty, integrity, and recognizes that today's engineers are dependent on their predecessors for their skills. The symbol of your desire to serve the public is that engineer's ring. The ring says to all who see it, again, here is an engineer, possessed of a publicly avowed dedication to the profession and the public they serve. It will be your symbol. Wear it for all to see. You're going to find the oath on the back of your program. All initiates, if you can stand and read only the lines in bold out loud, Dr. Donovan will lead the rest. If there's any past initiates of the order, you're also welcome to stand and reaffirm your oath as well. Thank you, President Tanner. So you stand there. Dr. Donovan.
Candidates, for the Order of the Engineer is an independent movement. The purpose is to foster a feeling of pride in and dedication to our profession. Your membership in the Order is symbolized by the acceptance of an obligation and the wearing of the stainless steel ring on the little finger of the working hand. There is no meeting other than this ceremony, and there are no dues. It is with humility and the need for divine guidance that we take this pledge. Raise your right hand and recite with me the obligation of an engineer. I am an engineer. In my profession, I take deep pride. To it I owe solemn obligations. Since the Stone Age, human progress has been spurred by the engineering genius. Engineers have made usable nature's vast resources of material and energy for humanity's benefit. Engineers have vitalized and turned to practical use the principles of science and the means of technology. Were it not for this heritage of accumulated experience, my efforts would be feeble. As an engineer, I pledge to practice integrity and fair dealing, tolerance and respect, and to uphold devotion to the standards and dignity of my profession. Conscious always that my skills carry with it the obligation to serve humanity by making the best use of Earth's precious wealth. As an engineer, I shall participate in none but honest enterprises. When needed, my skill and knowledge shall be given without reservation for the public good. In the performance of duty and in fidelity to my profession, I shall give the utmost.
You can all be seated. Great job. All right, now for the fun part. In the presence of your fellow engineers and your family and friends, you'll be called forward to receive your certificate and, of course, your ring as an indication of your acceptance of the obligation of the Order of the Engineer. When your department is called, please gather in the area to my left in alphabetical order. Good luck, mechanicals, doing that. When your name is called, so you line up to my left, alphabetical. When your name is called, come forward to receive your certificate and ring. You'll be congratulated by President Tandy and Dr. Donovan. After all initiates are called forward, I'll then ask you all to place your rings on at the same time. All right, let's start. Inductees from biomedical engineering, please come forward. Okay, so starting us off, our biomedical engineering, Gus Bishop. Jacob Blackmore. Andrew Castillo. Nicholas Dorn. Aaron Hoyer. Ellie Hollenbeck. Kenneth Hollenbeck. Isabella Holmbo. Ann Johansson. Amanda Clabandi. Zachary Cagle. Grant Lewis. Joshua Marquardt. Emma Osborne. Austin Sands. Adeline Siekman. Alexandria Van Zee. Our inductees from chemical engineering, same thing, you can come forward to my left, alphabetical. Chemical engineering. Cole Balla. Zach Heldy. Kaisa Mortensen. Addison Schneck. Cade Van Dusseldorp. Our inductees from Civil and Environmental Engineering, please come forward. Okay, Civil and Environmental Engineering, Adedokun Abdul Hamid Alarape Crow. Grace Belcher. Grant Bremer. Summer Christensen. Sean Clemens II. Anne Lorraine Dos Santos. Thomas Fields. Ella Froning. Jace Heimerman. Colton Henderson. Grant Heldlin. Heather Jarasek. William Joseph Keel IV. Emily Maley. Kai Nelson. Naria Newbert. Benjamin Patton. Samantha Peppo. Duncan Pilling. Jack T. Ping. Lucas Ranson. Aiden Rockvam. Hayden Shawcroft. Zoe L. Thies. Linus Wee. Joshua Wolfer. Would our inductees from computer engineering please come forward? Starting computer engineering, Andrew Baum. Alexis England. Zachary Holloway. Henry London. Our inductees from electrical engineering, please come forward. Josiah Baumeister. Dennis Bergren. Joshua Brockschmidt. Daniel Jao Keeper Fritas. Kira Gillespie. Blake Hobalt. Ryan Yoakum. Sierra Roadwall. Would our inductees from geological engineering please come forward? Eliana M. Bender. Nathaniel Pfeiffer. Would our inductees from Industrial Engineering and Engineering Management please come forward? Ashlyn Adams. Ellie Bradenbrock. Elizabeth Cave. Kira Danielson. Elena Dressler. Kellen Gegg. Olivia Gridogger. Avery Harmon. Lauren Herman. Eric Robinson. Grace Schildhauer. Ashley Tobiasen. Would our inductees from Mechanical Engineering please come forward?
Yeah, he's in the upper one. Here's Joseph. Isaac?
Alright, I think we're close enough. I think we're in a good spot. Alright, our mechanical engineers. Gavin Anderson. Luke Barron. Hannah Bennis. Andrew Black. Andrew Clark. Bridger Damgard. Becker. Preston Drew. Tom Dungeon. Megan Eskem. Paul Felix. Luca Ferrarini. Devin Filter. Aaron Fisher. Dawson Ford. Elizabeth Fox. Caleb Gray. Gage Gunther. Gavin D. Haggerty. David Henson. Connor Harbarth. Zachary Harris. Hunter Harrison. Laura Elizabeth Hubbs. Samuel Irwin. Cole Jackson. Corrigan Johnke. Durham Kelly. Benjamin Kepley. Zachary Lemon. Portia Lenchowski. Andrew Lindgren. Connor Liberton. Gretchen Noble. Evan Norenberg. Caleb Oyen. Eve Peasley. Alex Peckelder. Isaac Peterson. Wyatt Peterson. Trevor Proctor. Tristan Redmond. Skylar Richardson. Aiden Rodriguez. Joseph Romero. Carly Shank. Eric Sickow. Alex Smizek. Cole Stanek. Chase Stolman. Henry Stewart. Corbin Van Zee. Haley Vogel. Gerald Waterhouse. Eugene Williams. Jesse Wilson. Paul Winker. Aaron Wirtz. Pearson Worley. Would our inductees from metallurgical engineering, please come forward. Eleanor Hester. Baylor Larson. Colby Molsum. Daniel Vitkovitsky. With our inductees from mining, engineering, and management, please come forward. Brandon G. Armstrong. Antonio Alejandro Asante Reyes. Nathaniel Brown. Jackson Bush. Dominic Derding. Slade Kierlieber. Okay, all initiates, if you would please rise. Okay, it's now time. You can remove the ring from your folders. Go ahead and place that on the pinky finger of your working hand. Be sure when you have time to sign that certificate that's also in your folders. I urge you to protect the public interest. Deserve the respect of your associates. Guard yourselves from unworthy masters, selfish interests, befuddled motives, and slippery slopes. Be proud that you've reached the point where the engineering community recognizes your talents and your achievements. Make a difference through the ethical and responsible practice of engineering. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 2026 Order of the Engineer Initiation Ceremony. Again, congratulations to our newest members of the Order of the Engineer. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining online. Have a wonderful evening.